Alright, welcome to the semi-final best of 5 between AR12 and TohobuWaha. Playing in the red and blue here, and now we're not at random sips anymore. They have been picking one map each, no, banning one map each, and picking one home map each for the best of 5. And then after that they have drafted sims accordingly. And we have a full-on cavalry matchup here for the first game. TohobuWaha likely to want to go for the scouts here with Lithuanians. I don't see any indication of an instant rush yet. Whereas AR12 with the Huns, he has many options. He could go scouts into cavalry archers, he could go rush himself, could arguably go men-at-arms, but Huns with the men-at-arms, the barracks lacking 100 wood to start delays that barracks a little bit, so that's a bit more awkward with the Huns. And you could of course also go rush into archers, for example, and or scouts into cavalry archers. There are so many options with Huns in the feudal and cat stages, and your extra benefit is never needing to build houses. So you have 200 pop space from the very get-go. Huns with decently wallable map here. Gold and stone in the backside there could just cover these towards the edge here. The Huns will generally play it more aggressively anyway. So if you have a very open map playing as Huns, that's not necessarily a huge setback. As for TohobuWaha's side, we have the Lithuanians here. Seems like a more open map than AR12's. He does have a back main gold here, which is always very nice to have in terms of securing it. Right hand side seems wallable as well, but then the front is quite open, and the secondary gold here is right next to a hill. Could be horrible when you're up against potentially up against cavalry archers, to be honest. It is the semi-final of the highest elo bracket, and so I'd expect a high level here from the players. Not too often to see scouts rushes at this level anymore either, given the ease of walling and how hard walls actually counter scouts. But with the Lithuanians, for example, you start with plus 150 food, gives you a very smooth time. You could go up at 18 pop and still make the scouts, and very likely be able to find and hit the enemy base before they are walled. Pushing in the deer as well, can never get enough food. What do we have on berries? 4 berries, pretty standard there. AR12, where are his deer? He has been pushing in a couple of them as well. So indicating a scout's investment. If you're pushing one deer, that could be useful for any build, and it's always useful to have that extra food. But if you're pushing more than one, it's already an indication that we might be seeing scouts here. 3 on wood for both players, also an indication of scouts play. Oh, will we see a scouts run in here? AR12 just missed it, I think. So let's see, TohobuWaha just kicked up. He's had 3 seconds idle time, AR12 with 1, so their idle times are comparable here. Looks like AR12 wants to go for the 20 pop scouts with Loom here, so that should give TohobuWaha a 47 seconds lead or something going up here. Wait, it's 19 pop and 20 pop, so never mind. It is 25 seconds difference then. It takes 25 seconds to train a villager, and they have exactly similar uptimes here. So what are seeing the scouts for? That's nice. That's not something you see too often. TohobuWaha unfortunately going to lose his starting scout now by the looks of it, and did not manage to snag a sheep in the process. That is unfortunate for the red player. It limits the scout's opening. It limits the advantage he gets from 25 seconds earlier uptime, and yeah, overall he lost his whole advantage of an earlier up now, in my opinion. village in for AR12 as well, so he's dropping the stables, and I heard some fighting here. Where was that? Oh, it's here. Villager snipe? No, scout snipe. I think it was just harassing a wall building villager here or something. There's a lot of walling to be done for TohobuWaha here. AR12 now producing scout and spears here. And he's already outmatching TohobuWaha in military here, which is a concern. TohobuWaha not with any spearmen just yet, so he doesn't have anything else than scouts to hold off against the offensive here. I can appreciate that they're both playing it very open for now, though. So we'll hope to see some extended feudal age action here. Walling builder, AR12 just passing. Yeah, he's gonna get this woman. She's running in the wrong direction. He's blocking. Well, there are two enemy scouts here, so good quick ball from TohobuWaha, and his scouts are full HP, but AR12 commits and gets the villager. So that's a 1-0. Eco KD, TohobuWaha officially down one villager now. AR12 with his third scout waiting on the hill here, and obviously TohobuWaha doesn't want to fight uphill, and bails out here and doesn't chase for now. But now AR12 has twice the numbers of TohobuWaha. There is a spearman here somewhere, but he's protecting the wood line. Another spear is out, and AR12 immediately recognizes that and pulls away not to take any further damage here. Look at the resource setups. TohobuWaha, he has one fewer villagers. That's basically the biggest difference here. 10 on wood, 14 on food for AR12. Less so for TohobuWaha, but with that extra starting 150 wood, it's less of you could delay the farms a little bit more as well. That's a rough fight for TohobuWaha, sadly. 6-1 KD for AR12 now in this run-in. And oh, that's unfortunate for the red player here with that one palisade not completed from earlier. And AR12 marches in, gets another villager. 7-2 KD, 2 villagers down for his opponent, who admittedly has a slightly weaker farming eco as well. And one woodland still up for grabs. That could be quick walled out though if AR12's scouts finds their way over there. Oh, doesn't react quickly enough. Is that another villager down for TohobuWaha here? I think so. AR12 using the weakest scout to block here and to debate the spearman. Commits here, will get a villager. 2 scouts still alive. And could even delay the mining camp or something here a little bit. That's great value from these scouts opening. 3 scouts down, 3 villagers down for TohobuWaha here, who is down now a total of... The idle time is similar, so it's those 3 villagers making the only difference here. AR12 now in wheelbarrow, so TohobuWaha will kind of catch up in numbers here, but is also getting wheelbarrows here. Kind of mirrored approach to the progression here. Well, have a look at the farming eco. 14 farms to 16. These 2 are cavalry civilizations, so they'll likely follow up with cavalry, both of them. 5 on gold for AR12, 4 for TohobuWaha. And scratch that, by the way, AR12 is dropping a range, so he is maybe going to follow up with cavalry archers with Hunts then. The Hunts get cheaper cavalry archers, so that's definitely something to do on your Hunts. TohobuWaha uses his stray spearman to scout the enemy side though, and realizes that the switch is underway. Will need to adapt his plans maybe. As the Spearman Hunter will actually get the Villager here of AR12. She has no escape here, she's going down. Upgrades or not, TohobuWaha is getting the kill here. Gold mining on the way as well, and I think I saw a second stable going up for TohobuWaha here, so at some point we'll be seeing the Knights follow up from the Lithuanians here, as should be, of course. That's their strongest suit. If you collect the relics as well, you'll be granted extra attack. Only one relic scouted for TohobuWaha, but in return it's quite close to his home base, so that's an advantage to be exploited. We see him hitting the gold of AR12 here as well to limit any production here, as AR12 is just about to hit the cast stage here with 3 ranges, likely to just pump out Cavachers straight away here. AR12 extending the gold income now, will need more on gold to sustain all 3 ranges working. Now the balance seems fine. 2 mining camps for maximum efficiency here. In the meantime, TohobuWaha just reached the cast stage. He takes the opportunity to drop a second town center right away to have a hiding space for builders on the woodline. And of course to have more efficient wood economy for longer. Three town centers actually in this very cramped home base of TohobuWaha, with a few cavalry archers from AR12 already out, even before Baskin Arrow here. So it's taking some chances here, but he also knows he's ahead by roughly a minute to the cast stage here, so the Knights aren't going to be a threat just yet. Although TohobuWaha is extending into the +2 defense right away here. I think he got a villager though, so that's a kind of... I'm not sure if you want to say it's sloppy of TohobuWaha here, but hopefully that's, I mean... Yeah, it doesn't really have a way to relocate here. Both the other 2 golds are admittedly off limits here, kind of awkward to take. And a range now goes up to deep, and Scorpion defense could be something as well. 2 villagers down though, again, and AR12 now with 6-1 KD in builders here. Second TC going up just now for the Huns, on stone as well. So I think they're thinking about establishing presence on some of the hills here. This would be the most logical hill for the first castle if you want a semi-offensive one with a point to fall back to. Alternatively, you could deny golds with forward castles on either side here, but that's for later, I think. So very much consistent army production here for AR12, less so for TohobuWaha, and part of the reason for that is he's being denied of gold by the cavalry archers here. So TohobuWaha, unless he gets a market up and adjusts the economy a little bit, will have the Knights production crippled here. He also just put up a range, is going into the skirmishers here, but that's the issue when up against cav archers. You could hit and run like a madman and run away from the skirmishers as well, so it's a sub-optimal solution, but of course inside of your walls skirmishers make sense. And every time the cav archers get close, you can pull your skirmishers closer to them and get some hits in. I think TohobuWaha needs a new mining camp over here, something to keep the gold income of the cavalry archers, but good, well played by AR12 on this map here to recognize this gold here is what should be in line at this stage in the game, and the early scouts worked out better for AR12 as well. That is a 1-0 for the first semifinal. Let's have a look at the stats. You see both players getting double bit and horse collar here from pretty early on, quite customary, and then wheelbarrow before castle age to effectivize the farm production for their later production, whatever it might be. AR12 the only one making bow solo, so this kind of could be that TohobuWaha had to make other priorities to get units out on the field. 22 military to 6 here, cheaper Huns cavalry archers working out for AR12. Eco's not that different, more gold obviously for AR12, needed solid gold income for the cavalry archers there, and TohobuWaha consistently get 9 of gold. TohobuWaha lost his initial scout to enemy town center and builders, so that crippled that feudal age timing. Only 3 seconds of a perfect up there. And finally, villager max is pretty similar, but AR12 with some villager kills here and there gets the lead in the end after all. Alright, off to the second game. I'm gonna go back into AOE2 here and find TohobuWaha's first home map. Exclamation mark rank in the chat if you want to know, and the player's nickname if you want to know their current ranking. So we go to Lowland, a Red Bull Wololo 3 map here. And Lowland, TohobuWaha here with the Berbers. Very solid cavalry civilization, but also a counter to your classic go-to cavalry archer civilizations. So I think TohobuWaha expected AR12 to pick something like a cavalry civ like cavalry archer civ like, for example, Magyars or Tatars here, but in fact AR12 went for the Khmer. So we'll be seeing, we might be seeing scouts play here as well, to be honest. Khmer, they don't have, they're missing Thumbring, I believe, so they have arbalest access but no Thumbring, which is a bit of a setback, especially against cavalry civilization like the Berbers. On the other hand, Khmer get, for example, Siege Ram, and could go for a pike and siege push or halb and siege push against Berbers in the Imperial Age, and there's almost nothing for Berbers to stop that. So AR12 will not be making cavalry archers here, I think, if not just a few ones for map control, but I'd assume not. You note that these woodlands here, this is actually a pretty good base for TohobuWaha, lots of woodlands to choose from. Tough to deny TohobuWaha of wood here. But then again, if he makes for some full walls around this base here to turtle his way onto the castle age, there's only a 2-tile goal to be taken. At some point you need to advance into the middle for continued gold and stone access. As for AR12, it's admittedly more open, but as the Khmer, he has the option to garrison inside houses to save villagers from raids as well, so less of a concern if you get raided as Khmer, even though it's going to mean more idle working time. This is called Lowland. It says down in the corner of the minimap here. It's from Red Bull Low 3. So it's kind of, I would say it's kind of Acropolis-like in gameplay, in the fact that you have some wood gold stones on the top of your hill, call it that, and then you'll have to fight on the field for the rest of the game. But there's shorter distance between the cliffs here, or the elevation, so it really favors cavalry archers play with the hit and run potential of cavalry archers and taking the advantage. Archers play as well, maybe. Looks like a mix between Gold Rush and Acropolis. You might be on point there, just for fun. That's a good comparison. Throw Atacama in there as well, since there's most of the wood is in the middle, but you have woodlands to the sides, of course, as well. So AR12 is on a scouting mission now. Just dodges TC fire there. We know that it's fixed positions on this map, so your opponent will always be, I think it's fixed positions at least, so you know your opponent will be around here. Could be that AR12 thinks his opponent is over on this side though. Or maybe he just wants a grasp of. But yeah, he wanted to find the gold, obviously. He wanted to find the second gold spot of TohobuWaha, because the first one will be somewhat close to your TT, and the second one could be far outside. It's the case for AR12 as well. One here. Horrible gold spots, in fact, for AR12. And now he's going to run TC fire. Is AR12 going to sacrifice the scout now? I think TohobuWaha could have gotten that kill, but he doesn't stay inside the TC for a reason, because it's so much eco time when you garrison the TC to take out the enemy scout. So by not risking that extra few seconds, he's collecting the resources more efficiently. So I'm curious as to what kind of openings we'll see on this map. Khmer, straight scouts, no barracks maybe for AR12. Could even be straight archers. He's 22 pop up here. He did not drop a barracks, so he must have something else planned. I think he may be straight archers here or something. Maybe even a very greedy FC, fast cast Leech. Whereas TohobuWaha does not have any military production buildings either. But he is going to the feudal age here and needs to start building that barracks ASAP, otherwise it will be will not be complete by the time feudal age kicks in. I think he made it just in time there. Yeah, you need to start the barracks before 65% feudal age or something with one builder in order to complete it before feudal age kicks in. Both players keeping their scouts. I'm still wondering what AR12's plan is here. He didn't go to gold yet. Now he's dropping the barracks. And has cover fire from the TC, so goodbye TohobuWaha scout, or almost goodbye. The HP saved at 6 there, but the plan is Berber scouts here, and it is. That's a big setback for TohobuWaha scout rush already. AR12 just with a barracks, spear defense, and a smoother cast ledge on the planning maybe. Doesn't really have wood for a stable here. But again though, his gold spots are horrible. AR12 with two forward golds essentially, one outside of his walls and one that might just make it here. Yeah, I think you can blame it a little bit on the map here. AR12 now he's not overcommitting to the spears. He knows that he damaged the initial scout of TohobuWaha as well, so that's just one poke away from going down, or one hit from his own scout. TohobuWaha gets in, but for every unit moving in this direction, he will eventually need to pass dangerously close to AR12's town center here. So there's that to be considered as well. AR12 saves the villagers, no villagers killed for either player. TohobuWaha in the meantime getting time to wall up his own base here, but let's see, he does not have that back scouted, which could backfire if he doesn't scout that, because that's impact 1 tile opening in the backside of TohobuWaha's base. Spear on spear, that's gonna be AR12 spear to go down, but he brings out another one now to fight him off. Scouts investment, not doing too much for TohobuWaha. On the other hand, he only made 2 scouts, I believe, and should still have a pretty smooth cast age behind this. Pigs or idols, AR12. There we go. You heard me. And I hear a spearman poking somewhere. I couldn't actually spot it. Oh, there's the guy. He did get another spearman or something. Yeah, AR12 with the full walls here. He will have his gold fairly secure here. Unless TohobuWaha goes crazy and drops the tower forward or something to deny that 1 gold. But I don't think he will. Though it would be a viable play, I think, to stop easy gold access for AR12 before going to the stage here. Only missing 150 gold, and then he should be good to go up till. I think for this one that the cast stage timings should be fairly similar though. Wheelbarrow for AR12 on the way now. He is roughly at the same idle DC time as the opponent here. And yeah, considering the Khmer farming rate, maybe AR12 gets the upper hand still. Sounded like Walker, yeah. This is the birds in the game or something. Oh, it is. It is a... whatever that bird is called in English. Måke. I can't make that high-pitched sound. That kind of sound. Oh, it's a bird, I guess. A Gaia bird. Hawk! It's a hawk! And hauk, just for fun. Ikke måke. Look at this guy. I love that we can just press F to follow the Gaia units here. Oh, that has to be a seagull. That's what it's called. Seagull. Måke in Norwegian. Seagull. So what's the follow-up here? We have Castle Age with a 20 seconds lead there for AR12. Not something... well, he has a fantastic eco behind it, so he's only 2 out of 10 farmers. He's 9 on gold. He is going for the crossbows here. Crossbows and a shitload of spears here. I mean, it's up against Berbers. That's why AR12 doesn't go for the knights or elephants or whatnot here. He knows that Berbers will go for the knights, maybe camels here, if he goes for cavalry himself. So he's going for a crossbow approach instead, which is a fairly good counter, especially until TohobuWaha can get that +2 defense. It's still going to take a little while before the Berbers can get to the knights numbers needed here. And if AR12 can deny this TC from going up as well, that's huge for him. He's pressuring the front side of the enemy base now to keep the aggression at home and to stop TohobuWaha from taking the field. You see the town center foundation is there, but TohobuWaha can't move out now with 10 enemy units on the field and knocking at this door like this. Pikeman is in for AR12 as well. And almost finds the point of entry there. But yeah, the palisade gate will go down as well. Pike crossbow against Berbers, I think I don't hate it. The pikes especially are coming in handy, of course. Could toss in a few monks when or if you could ever afford it. And for now, TohobuWaha seems to have... well, he doesn't delete this foundation, so he has plans to continue it at some point, but for the time being he'll need to address AR12's forward here, who is currently at 2 town centers at home, and with a little bit of stone to maybe get a cast lap in the middle. The downside of this army accommodation for AR12 right now is that it's very little mobile, but I think it's more of a poke and an annoyment and something for TohobuWaha to deal with, rather than to take him out of the game. There is a 4 villagers lead for TohobuWaha, but keep in mind it doesn't have wheelbarrow, so essentially that is 3 villagers worth of research time right there. Both towns entering the middle now, AR12 with army to defend, as is the case for TohobuWaha, who has the cheaper Berbers cavalry, not currently producing. And AR12 doesn't see the TC going down on gold here either, so both players with consistent gold access now behind this. Somehow the enemy scout found his way in there, but that's just a few pokes from the villager here and it goes down. Well, that's going to take a while, because that scout has defense. It's only taking one damage per hit from the villager. Oh, I want to see this. Fight back, idiot. How many times do you need to stab a scout in the butt before it goes down? I think that's like 20 stabs or something. 15 stabs. Anyway, does the trick. AR12 commits to the crossbow pike combination here. That's also arguably a much cheaper investment than full knights. The pikes only cost food and wood, and the crossbows cost less gold than the knights. Builder numbers, yeah, it's a lead for TohobuWaha. He is earlier to the 3 TCs than is the case for AR12. He'll try to break in on top here, and this palisade wall is already weakened. You could also argue that you could break through the palisade gate here. The monastery just went up for AR12. It's skewing monks, but it's going to take some time before they come out. Let's see if AR12 can hold here against these offenses. Still kind of weak in the back here as well, something that might be a possible point of entry for TohobuWaha, but again, you could just drop some quick houses to keep the aggression out. Bikes looping around. That looked like a hole, actually. That's probably why TohobuWaha got the palisade there, because he thought there might be an opening next to the house. The pikes are right around the corner, though, so they might be getting some juicy hits in here on the knights and diminishing the numbers of TohobuWaha, who currently is off gold. Knights numbers quite impressive for TohobuWaha. The pikemen of AR12, they have defense, but that's about it. And the crossbow number is not too significant here either. I think AR12 is playing mainly the economy here. Now he has some siege as well. He did go to stone a while ago, so he is not unlikely to get the first castle up. And TohobuWaha, of course, hesitant to take any engagements here, as a 4th TC will go up for AR12 here, and that might just give him a, I was gonna say it might give it a villager's lead, but TohobuWaha actually has one as well, so they're both playing some solid macro here. The mobility of knights certainly helping out here against AR12's slower combination here. Now the pikes need to get over there ASAP, and the TC gets delayed or denied here, depending on how we look at it. Now we have Monk's defensive for AR12, though. He's collected a few relics as well for some golden com, and he could use these knights for monks for a couple of conversions. Quick houses going up left and right here, and a stone wall even, because you can't place a house right next to the TC foundation. Crisis averted, though, with the pikemen back on point here, chasing. And economy deceivingly similar here, but TohobuWaha admittedly a bit more idle TC time behind this. They're both at 4 TCs. KD ahead for TohobuWaha, but all in all this is very even, I would say. 3 more builders killed from AR12 by the opponent. Not too significant at this stage in the game unless they get some big raids in, though, as we see the villager numbers catching up and surpassing the opponent for AR12 here. 3 TCs producing for TohobuWaha, 4 TCs for AR12. Oh, that monk's gone there. Doesn't even get a conversion. Slow old man right there. Was supposed to take a little bit of the bonus here. They have bodkin, but no defense. And it's also nice to have some small crossbow mass in case the Berbers player goes for some... mixes in some camel or something. Not that he has any reason to. AR12 is not going for any cavalry here. He's going full on pike and siege, which makes perfect sense against Berbers. They don't really have a good response other than going into champions of their own. And AR12 sniped even a castle foundation there. That's huge. I would have done scorpions here. Yeah, true. But keep in mind that TohobuWaha doesn't have easy gold access. So I think he needs to stick with one gold unit here, stick with the knights, and then secure gold before you can go for a double gold combo here. You start with only 2-tile gold up on your hill, and then there's the 2-tile to the side as well. And you see he's struggling for gold because he's really using the market now, selling wood and even stone for gold here now. Another castle also is really been collecting stone here. Maybe it's it's not that useless for Berbers after all. Will AR12 see this castle foundation? He does see it, but does he have the military to deny it, or does he even blur? We have 3 barracks, soon to be 4, pumping out pikemen consistently here. More barracks as well. TohobuWaha really needs a response to the pikes, whether that be elite skirms or you go Imperial Age and get hand cannoneers out. I'm surprised AR12 didn't try to address this castle looming up, but it might be because of the castle behind here that he can't really engage against the villagers building this one. This might turn out to be a drawn-out fight for the middle here between the players, because they both have some presence with TCs and now also castles for TohobuWaha. AR12, however, going to the Imperialists slightly ahead, 30 seconds ahead of TohobuWaha. Dropping a castle here, will have 30 seconds head start to the Treb's production, but is up against 2 castles, which could be a problem here. Khmer, however, have access to Siege Ram and Halberdier again, which is basically Berber's kryptonite. Yeah, so this one's definitely going up. Timing, yeah, it's only 20 seconds apart for the player. They have roughly similar builder counts. Resource setups don't look too dissimilar either. Actually, TohobuWaha is bloating more resources here. It's been losing slightly fewer units. Light cap. Oh, the light cap found an opening. Will AR12 see the overdrop here? Oh, that's so important. If the light cap enter here, that would be a nightmare for AR12 to deal with, even if he has the out. Still annoying, but that's just one light cap, so not that big of a deal. Rangers for TohobuWaha goes into skirmishers for now. Also in the Imperial Age with chemistry, we'll have access to hand cannoneers as an infantry counter as well, but skirms will do just fine. You'll want elite skirmishers eventually though. And AR12 plugs the gap in the back there. With some light cap still being annoying here, and the monk trying to get a conversion on it actually. That's that's funny. He gets it. AR12 with his first Treb in queue. TohobuWaha not with any Trebs currently queue. It just reached the Imperial Age, but he has 2 castles to produce them from. Should give a solid head start to the Trebs wars here. Light cap doing work as well. Elite Skirm and Bracer on the way in there. Bracer benefits the range and attack of the Elite Skirms. And farming equal AR12, it's lots of idle farms. There's so many things to pay attention to here. Raiding with pikes and siege on this side with limited success. But getting kills here though, I'll say that is getting some builders down, but he has been losing quite a bit to the raids as well. Keeps producing, yeah, 104 builders for AR12, 122 for TohobuWaha, and definitely a healthier farm eco, food eco behind this for TohobuWaha, who's now getting chemistry as well. Will have access to hand cannoneers if needed against the halberdiers. That might be a better option if you have the food and gold for it. And definitely leads the Treb's engagement here with 2 castles to produce Treb after all. Should be taking down this one unless AR12 is able to keep repairs going here. TCs go down as well. That's not a good sign for AR12's economy. His farming eco really is being replenished a bit, but it's still suffering. Even if you have more farms late game, you'd want more than 27 total here. It's not looking bright for the blue player right now, but it is TohobuWaha's home map after all. Elite Skirmishers basically counters both the halberdiers and scorpions here. And Trebs pushing the eco further away as well, so... Where does AR12 go from here? There's another castle going up in the middle here as well. TohobuWaha soon with full control over the middle. And unless AR12 can make a miraculous comeback here or expand to the sides for food eco, that's GG. Well played by the Berbers here. So Berber's pick works out even if it's not a classic cavalry archer sim for AR12 here. We'll be going to AR12's first home map, but first let's look at the stats. Yeah, solid economy for Berbers here earlier to the 4th TC, losing way less villagers throughout the game, as we will see in the society scores soon enough. It wasn't too convincing fuelage for either player, but they compensated, of course, with going into the boom. And yeah, we can see the total. Actually, AR12 made more villagers, but in the end ended at 105 villagers, funnily enough. Which is the taunt, in-game taunt for you can resign again. Going to the third game and AR12's first home map soon enough here. Game 3 on a Desert Void for AR12. Alright, I just need a moment to restart Capture H here before we go on. There we have it. Alright, so this is Desert Void, AR12's home map, and he's picked his go-to civilization for Desert Void, the Britons. As you can see, this is Desert Void. Don't get fooled by these dots here all across the map. That's not straggler trees. It's a spec bug in Capture Age. It's actually full on desert terrain, save for the stone patches across the map here, these small ones that spawned randomly across the map. 3 stone tiles to the left, actually surprisingly close to AR12 here. So TohobuWaha potentially expecting the Britons pick here because of the woodlines. Britons range, as you can see, crossbows or archers line for Britons getting +1 range in Castle Age and +1 range in Imperial Age. It's just can be so strong on this map. You'll have an easy time using that range to deny resources even over these chunky woodlands that will diminish as you chop into them, right? So I think that's the idea here, to play it defensively and on the slow side with Britons, and then take the advantage as the game goes on. I think for this one, it's a pretty slow start. It's very likely that the players will not go for any significant early action here, so I'm gonna take my chances for a little bit of fast forward here. And slow it down a bit when we get to the action here. I mean, you could still do pre-milled rush, but I wouldn't recommend fast men-at-arms on this map because you're most definitely going to run into walls on the other side if you try for a men-at-arms 22 pop build. It's just so easy to wall off here. The only kind of exception to the open seasons concept of open maps. On the other hand, if your walls get breached, where do you go? That's why I like this map. It still favors the aggressor in the sense that you can't sit back and relax for too long like on Arena or Hideout. You need to do something, even if there's not really any particular map to be controlled here. So walls to the side, pretty far out by AR12, securing both a stone and a gold over here. Barracks is up for TohobuWaha and is actually going for the drop here. Pre-mill, by the looks of it. Barracks up before the mill. So we'll see how AR12 actually responds to it. He can't see it coming because he hasn't scouted the enemy side yet. Alright, so just a moment here to slow it down to hopefully to regular speed here. Or did I just break the whole thing here? What? Ah, here we go. Okay. So we have the rush at work for TohobuWaha, and as you can see, he's he knows the enemy location. He's Vietnamese, so that's fine. But he's going to be at a loss here unless he can deny the walling builder here. She has loom, so she could fight the builders. For now, quick gate to keep it out here. Yeah, the scout enters. I see AR12 easily pulling the aggression out here still, though, with quick bolts or whatnot here. I know AR12 doesn't appreciate playing against rushes. It's one of the tactics he finds most annoying, but that doesn't mean he's not capable of holding off against them. Dark Age walls, as we can see, are pretty weak. Scouts staying in the foundation where AR12 would have wanted to quick wall. Now they're forced to move around, though. I'm surprised TohobuWaha didn't try to enter further there. But then again, he knows the location of the town center. The issue with this rush play is that unless you manage to do some serious idle eco and idle TC time on the enemy side, you are already behind because you've invested 60 gold on the militia and 180 food on them as well. And whereas AR12 hasn't invested a squat on army here, he's just placed a few palisade walls, which is just less than 10 woods worth of cost, and yeah, comfortably holding them out now with a little bit of repairs. The militia and scout can't advance further here because the town center would essentially kill them off completely, or for the most part there, if they try to pass. So AR12 more or less fully walled here. He's going to beat TohobuWaha by 1 minute to the field age here. No problem. We'll drop the range, and then he could just use his archers too. Oh, ouch. TohobuWaha, wake up and smell the coffee. There's a builder here to be taken. Uh-oh. Yeah, clearly there's stuff to attend to at home with a walling builder. Oh, no loom yet! Ah, that's a dead builder. Woo! AR12 actually surprisingly gets... Well, the berry builder went down as well, so that's a 1-1 there in Eco KD, but AR12 still with the... He's actually going straight to the castle age here. Yeah, it's more or less straight fast castle with Britons. Clicking castle age before TohobuWaha even completes field age here. This is a huge head start for the Britons here. Range is already up. AR12 isn't really... doesn't really care about this. He knows that, well, he did lose one builder, but he doesn't really care that about this, because one quick gate or a quick house here and you funnel units totally in towards the PC there. I mean, it is rush fast castle for TohobuWaha as well. Does deal with AR12 scout in the end. I don't know if he got housed there or not, but he's also making the range here. Range market, not range blacksmith. and but is lacking gold for the upgrade here. So this is going to be an incredible head start to the cast late for AR12. Might even be an early GG moment there with 2.5 minutes cast late lead to the for the Britons. Oh, never mind. It's not that bad. The market to adjust a little bit for TohobuWaha here, and in the end, slightly higher population going up, and which would result in a stronger eco behind it, and going to in the end be 1 minute 45 seconds or so behind the AR12. Not much resources needed to focus on these militia. 2 archers should be more than enough, and goodbye angry housewives. And garrison TC to deal with the last fall. Cast stage is in. Could mean more TCs instantly per AR12 here to protect the economy. Over here, maybe over here. Or to the, yeah, on the wood line. And just a few crossbows moving out immediately. Actually, no upgrades whatsoever for AR12. Most of the resources have gone down to the earlier next age here. Still could be annoying here, and you don't necessarily need Bodkin for that +2 range, because Britons get +1 extra range in the cast stage for the archers. So this is essentially Bodkin crossbows. If you get Bodkin arrow, you have another range for the crossbows to utilize. Town centers for TohobuWaha as well. Only 2 villagers behind here. It'll also be later to the triple TC production, so AR12 with consistent villager production behind this, as we could maybe expect, will be keeping that villager lead he already has here. Some Vietnamese crossbows moving forward, but they are going to run into walls, and they don't have that extra range. So that's obviously a setback for the Vietnamese versus Britons here. That, but they do have extra hit points, which is something to be considered as well. In even numbers, Vietnamese should potentially win unless that extra range is used to perfection by the other player. AR12 actually looking to break through the palisade. That's going to be annoying if AR12 is let in here, even if it's just 4 crossbows. Okay, he's in. Another +1 with range would be helpful here, but it's still going to mean it's going to be hard to snipe builders here. I'll give him that. 1 skirmisher for TohobuWaha. They also have extra hit points, remember, for the Vietnamese, so even if they are feudal age upgraded, when they have the armor and that extra HP, it's going to take more volleys for AR12 to engage, but it also limits and delays the archer masses for the Vietnamese here, allowing AR12 to prepare for that. What's probably going to be an earlier Imperial Age for Britons into arbalests with 5+5 range here. Dancing back and forth here. He's fighting against the units with more hit points though, so there's going to be a lot of dancing needed here for AR12 to win, but he's also keeping the new numbers or extra numbers of archers from TohobuWaha to reach his side here. So that's arguably a lot of value from only 4 crossbows there. 36 KD. And now the university going up in the middle of nowhere for AR12. Will we see TohobuWaha see that one going up? You could actually delay it or deny it here, but yeah, here are the crossbows to protect, so I guess AR12 is fine. Easy kills for AR12 there. Is sitting at a very good KD by now. University up well ahead of the Vietnamese here as well, so that could mean an earlier ballistics, which again benefits archers against moving targets specifically. 59 builders to 54, so AR12 has been capitalizing on that builder lead and now getting wheelbarrow to benefit the farmers and carry more resources per builder. And TohobuWaha actually dropping a TC on the neutral stone there, so he's thinking about the castle for Rattan archers maybe against the Britons here, but there's a very limited stone on this map. That's also the only stone on the right hand side here. AR12 also going to stone, but he has that secured behind his palisade walls here instead of a town center, so arguably much less of an investment for AR12. And there's that extra Britain's range at work here. 5+3 range. I don't think, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't think regular crossbows would be able to reach that actually, but that 5+3 range total is working wonders for AR12 right now. He's going to be up against a mix of skirmishers, but still feudal age skirmishers here. Not that much of a threat, especially considered the extra range of the Britons. With some micromanagement, you could snipe them before they get close enough to hit you. Elite skirm now on the way for the Vietnamese. In the Imperial Age, they will get Imperial Skirmisher as well, which is an even better skirmisher unit. So AR12 needs to capitalize on this advantage before that. Again, decent value from AR12 here, not playing the extra range to full potential right now, but yeah, still taking the chances with larger masses of units here. Another TC going up, 4th TC for the Britons, so AR12 really going for a massive economy lead here. And there are, wait, never mind, there are 4 TCs for TohobuWaha as well, so they seem to have somewhat similar macro here. Less gold spent for TohobuWaha could be significant as well, playing the skirm defense here. On the other hand, is still on the defensive and has lost more units. And yeah, it's getting the reinforcements cut off here. 2 ranges for the red player here, whereas AR12 has more ranges going up now and might be thinking about an Imperialist transition in not too long here. And finally, a 5th TC for AR12 on the gold. Really wanting to keep the golds and resources safe here. Obviously, it's going to be tough to hit any of AR12's economy here, core economy here with Archer's offensive, because there are literal TCs everywhere protecting it. It's not so much the case for TohobuWaha, who might easily get his 2 front golds denied there. There's still a lot of main gold to be taken though. But this could escalate quickly for the Britons. AR12 needs a response to the elite skirms by now though. Might want to mix in some siege, scorpions, mangonel something, or maybe even some Britons light cav here. But as you can see, the Imperial Age transition is not far off for AR12 now. Monastery is up as well, so 2 buildings needed for Imperial Age on the way. And with Britain's Arbalest will bracer, even Cast Age skirmishers will be less of a threat given the extra range and attack damage. There's the implic for AR12, and TohobuWaha still has a while to go in terms of gold, and not to mention army numbers here. AR12 with twice the army size and multiple ranges producing here is going to be looking at huge numbers here. Keep in mind, Britain's archery ranges work 20% faster as well. That's their team bonus. So if you're on team with Britons in a team game, you have 20% more production. 20% quicker production for your units. Couple of siege workshops here. Could be thinking about cap traps here to soak enemy archers and skirm fire as well, or even onlogger if the Britain's economy allows for that. Spreading out the skirmishes here means that TohobuWaha will be losing some of the numbers here, and even with Imperial Age on the way for Vietnamese here, it's going to be tough to afford Imperial skirmishers in a 1v1 like this. And again, with the eco setup, the protection with TCs everywhere for AR12 here, it's going to be difficult for TohobuWaha to engage. We see a defensive castle in place for TohobuWaha, but still you could enter on a different side if you're AR12 and do significant damage. With capped rams you could beat down castles as well, like this, if you have your armies to protect behind. That is a castle that AR12 doesn't know about though, so you could take some unlucky hits. Oh, that's a cheeky move, going for the gold of the opponent as well, and snagging the relics here. 2 relics already for AR12. He's even going for the back one. If you can get all 5 relics, that's going to be huge here. Not sure if I understand the outposts of TohobuWaha here, because that it's not going to give too much. There's not really, I mean, you could track army movement, obviously, but you'll
Mandatum?
Yeah, you get some map vision, obviously, but it's still investment of stone and wood. 44 military to 28 here, and AR12 already in Imperial Age with Arbalest probably not too far up here. Let's see. Oh no, Arbalest queued, surprisingly enough. Another gold being taken and being denied here by a forward castle that would allow for Trebs production here and a continued push with the Britons here. So we do have Rattan Archers out for TohobuWaha here as the marketing fight. As TohobuWaha wants to limit map vision for AR12 on the other side. Vietnamese get Lightcab, have Lightcab out as well. And AR12 with the same plan here to deal with enemy skirmishers. And it is indeed Imperial skirmishers here for the Vietnamese, which is good call. They have even an extra range. They're still outranged by Britain's crossbows and arbalists though, but they have even more damage output against the enemy army composition here. Arbalest in for AR12 as well. And now the builder numbers are fairly similar here. But I still have faith in AR12's economy behind this. The population situation is similar here, but look at AR12's castle denying this gold. AR12 has been taking this gold as well. At some point, TohobuWaha is going to run out of gold, and then there's with AR12 with this kind of map control, it's just going to be very tough for TohobuWaha to reclaim gold access. Lightcab mixed in is great for AR12 as well, because that's tanking elite skirmisher fire here, Imperial skirmisher fire, and allows the Arbalest actually to use that extra range to take out even their counter unit here. Lightcab raids inside the Vietnamese base and going to diminish the numbers. The already slightly lower economy for TohobuWaha here. As the first Treb is out for AR12, but Imperial Skirmishers shouldn't be enough to protect this one. I think the ramp will be able to snipe this actually, because yeah, alright, there are light cab here, maybe to take out the rams in time. They're attacking. Rams are attacking a skirmisher. Oh, oh, oh! Oh, I killed it! A ram killed an Imperial skirmisher. I haven't seen that ever before, I think. So let's see for the Treb. Britain get wall Treb as well, which could to some extent serve as a substitute for onagers to take out army masses, because you deal area damage with the Britain's Warwolf Trebs. That is an economy investment to be considered if you want to go for it, though. What does TohobuWaha do if this castle goes down, though? Populations roughly similar here. AR12 with a military lead here. He did pick into pikemen, and I don't know if he got halberdier. No, not halberdier, but the arbalest masses will be doing work here as well. So many faster working British Rangers here, and AR12's economy, especially the gold situation, is just much better for AR12. And if you can deny the main goal of TohobuWaha, that's going to be bad news when TohobuWaha eventually runs out of gold here. Doing a good job at making units here, though, mainly trash to conserve the gold here. The castle, however, goes down, and AR12 will be free to enter and extend the raids inside the enemy base here. Maybe take out more town centers with the Trebs and everything. Light Cav has a long travel to make here, and I think they got some hits in on the AR12 side as well, but he's cleaned up here and is not in any immediate danger. I'm almost thinking that the Britain's Cavalier might be a worthwhile transition here now for AR12, instead of just a light cab, just to deal even more efficiently with the Imperial skirmishers here. Trebs will have to pull back, and somehow TohobuWaha is able to get another castle up here inside of AR12's line of sight here with the villagers. Some villagers will go down carrying gold here, and the Trebs still forward-ish here to contest production. I mean, it's not the most dangerous castle ever, but AR12 loses some villagers mining gold over there. He's not going to struggle for gold for a while, though. 3 relics, 2 here for AR12 as well. Oh, but raids in the home base for AR12, that could be hurtful here. More military for TohobuWaha, siege engineers on the way for any siege vessels here as well, and no immediate reaction for AR12, needs to pay attention to whatever is going on forward as well. So these light cav are getting value here. AR12 down to 136 population, actually might be pushed back here by the Vietnamese. So after a rough start, I would have to say, for TohobuWaha is pushing back here and claiming gold controlled back eventually here. The main gold is depleted though, and TohobuWaha is down 1 relic compared to AR12. There are still light cab raids going on though, and AR12 has some pikes out, has dealt with some with it, but we'll need to plug the gaps here eventually to stop these raids from happening. I'm looking at production queue here, light cab and villagers mainly for AR12 now, 29 arbalists only, as TohobuWaha has 61 military total, and AR12 does not have stone left to repair this castle. I think they'll both take out each other's castles here. Actually, AR12 buys stone to keep his own up, that's important for his own gold here. Yeah, I think the castle goes down, maybe for both of them actually. There it is for the Vietnamese player. Light Cab can then safely run in, but AR12 loses his castle as well, so they're both losing their precious castles on the golds here, and will need to contest the resources otherwise. The Caribs definitely go down for TohobuWaha here though, and that's some expensive siege weapons down the drain, if you could say that. AR12 lacking in military population and population overall here though, and the light cav, Vietnamese light cav raids are still doing work in his home base. And AR12 hasn't really been able to contest TohobuWaha's home base all that much. We have Onager in to try and get some hits in on the... Oh, it's a good hit on the Imperial skirmishers there. And now light cav raids from AR12 on the enemy side as well. So, I'm not sure who to favor here. I mean, TohobuWaha has had healthier population for a while, has 10 more military as well. And AR12 lost his relics. That could be huge actually for the continued gold access. Although there's still gold to be mined here. I hear some rams doing work from the Vietnamese as well. Onager could help take that out, but there are light cav here to take out the precious and expensive Onagers as well. AR12 138 pop now down, 30 population to the enemy here, who is outmatching him in military numbers, I have to say. Yeah. AR12 23, Arvel is now 38, military total to 77, almost 90, almost 100 military for TohobuWaha here, who has been defending like a champ at home and not allowing AR12 to get good raids in. That's possibly also a setback of Britons in the extended Imperial Age fighting, that they have less powerful mobility in their units here. TohobuWaha has freed up gold again, which is huge. AR12 will only have to... Well, could have relied on relic economy, but these relics are lost as well. And even though it's mainly trash on the field here, TohobuWaha is as good as pop capped, and AR12 is with 140-ish population now, and struggling to replenish enough by the looks of it. He could still make elite skirmishers, of course, with the wood and food income and pikemen, but he's gonna be up against gold units soon. Cap rams maybe, no more treb because the castles are down, and the Imperial skirmishers are just so strong as well. Vietnamese with the bombard cannons, yeah, that's a good call as well. Could even get some good hits in on grouped up units like this. 31 military to 81, 50 more military for the Vietnamese here. How can AR12 turn this around? TohobuWaha even snagging the relics now, has a monster to the side here. That's gonna be potentially 5 relics for TohobuWaha then. Full gold control as AR12 is... That's still the main gold actually. That's not being currently taken. But with bombard cannons in the mix now as well, it's going to be so tough to clean up here in a match that's closing in on 1 hour. 52 on food though, so AR12 could get some light cav up here to try and clean it up, but the GG well played is called on AR12's home map. And what a game on Desert Void. Going to the score again. KD should be fascinating here. AR12 400 to 377, struggling to get into enemy base to really big time punish the Vietnamese eco. Seems like these players have somewhat similar macro approaches as to when they drop their TCs and everything. Imperial Skirmisher for TohobuWaha though is huge against Britons, and the Vietnamese probably one of the better sibs against Britons overall. Uptimes here, yeah, we can show the economy as well. That seemed less hurt overall for TohobuWaha. Mine 700 stone, but bought the rest of the stone for the second castle. 145-ish earlier up for AR12, but not getting the maximum out of that one. And the earlier cast stage admittedly did good damage there. So we'll be going to a second home map of AR12 now. I'm just gonna pull the game back up just a moment. So game 4 should that be actually? Would be on Serengeti. Again, I have capture H issues here, but I'll work that out. It's Serengeti, and good ears would notice that it is indeed Mongols picked for one of the players. Serengeti it is, and it is AR12's home map. And he goes with Aztecs for Serengeti here. Interesting, he's up against Mongols for TohobuWaha. So AR12 actually allowing TohobuWaha to take Mongols for Serengeti here. His home map. I find it peculiar to see Aztec on this one, I guess. Eagles could of course be strong on a map, just as scouts are, the mobility on a map like Serengeti, but I always, just my personal opinion, I really favor Mongols on this map for the extra food boost they get from the huntable animals. 40% faster collection of hunt for the Mongols. Just can't be ignored on a map like this. A bit unfortunate hunt here for TohobuWaha to have to push them next to the well, in between the woodlands here, but doesn't stop him from doing so and boost that early food economy, which will allow Mongols to go for 17 or 18 pop scouts if need be. Yarto with the Aztecs, though, he has that's classified as an infant monk and infant civilization, I think. So the strong monks of the Aztecs, that kind of discourages Mongols from that middle transition play in the cast stage if they go for scouts opening into knights and then to follow up with Mangudai later, or cavalry archers instead, maybe. Knights aren't an easy play because of the strength of Aztecs monks. You could still go Mongols cavalry archers. Don't start off with scouts and then follow up with cavalry archers in the next age, because cavalry archers of the Mongols, they fire faster and work for a nice transition towards the Mangudai later if you want to, because they benefit from the same upgrades. Aztecs, however, could do a powered rush with, or could just do straight rush, Dark Age rush with militia without ever needing to collect any extra gold at all. Or they could go men-at-arms and easily, through a standard men-at-arms build, make more men-at-arms and afford the upgrades with these. Or you could just not mine gold and still go for the men-at-arms as Aztecs. So they have many early game options like that. You also have, admittedly, Atlatl skirmishers with the Aztecs, the unique technology, if you can get the castle up, that allows you your skirmishers, I think, is +1 attack and +1 defense or something. Or extra range, I don't remember that one exactly. Extra range, I think. Range and attack. Which makes it slightly easier to hold off Mangudai and cavalry archers, I guess. So we shouldn't expect to see too much early scouting here from the players. They simply have to make benefit of their extra hunt and push that in towards their town centers. AR12 with some awkward hunt as well has to push them from behind the woodland in towards the TC. But at least have a back woodland and a back-ish gold to benefit from here. Barrett goes up at 17 pop here, and the mill isn't up yet, so this is definitely a pre-milled rush for the Aztecs. And again, something with your gold situation, you can afford more militia for your rush if that's your desired tactic with Aztecs, without mining extra gold. I like how AR12 spreads out the units here to more smoothly find the enemy, making a minimap with these small bunny ears here or something. And eventually we'll run into some of the enemy resources. That's the setback of pushing deer early on. Of course, you'll need to delay your scouting. It's almost 8 minutes and AR12 actually can't know what Mongols are going for. TohobuWaha found the enemy side and found the barracks and probably expected a rush from the Aztecs. Anyway. Uh-oh. Why are you moving back? And at the very least here, AR12 should be able to cancel out the Mongols' men-at-arms here. But that's also good value from TohobuWaha here to make his own militia instead of men-at-arms opening or the likes. Both may be looking at some good damage potential here. Look like almost, yeah, quite similar builds here. TohobuWaha actually with the men-at-arms here and not Drudge, so that's probably why he doesn't want to contest the militia at home. Going to rely on quick walls uphill here instead against AR12's forward. AR12 quite a bit of idle TC time behind this as well, but now he's on the way to the feudal age. He seen or expected the infantry movement of the Mongols, so he's preemptively walling the berries. Will have an easy time quick walling the woodland as well, and is now doing his best to break in or contest the woodland of TohobuWaha, who's already dropping the range so close to the TC that the militia will have very limited options for damage here. Gold was quick walled in uphill even by TohobuWaha here, and in the meantime the Mongols' men-at-arms are hitting the opposite side. So no gold mining for AR12 just yet. I think that's an indication he might want to go into one range skirmisher defense here. He will need to deal with the men-at-arms, but if the men-at-arms advance further from here, they'll more or less have to pass next to a TC fire here. The Drek has moved around here and will actually be able to maybe snipe the walling villager out on the outside here with some help from the Eagle Scout. Oh, there was a hole by the middle as well. So AR12 with one range at home, he's going to go into the skirmishers here because he's not collecting gold. And I think that's the correct call as well when you're up against Mongols going men-at-arms and in all but most cases will follow up the men-at-arms with archers. That's just the standard follow-up to men-at-arms. And this is some serious idle time cost on TohobuWaha's side now. More idle TC time behind this as well. It's being disrupted by the forward of AR12 here now, and yeah, that's a good value from the rush in the end here. More idle TC, idle eco time cost here, and also keeping the military of the Mongols at home here. You don't easily deal with men-at-arms with skirmishers exclusively though, but there's a tiny bit of gold in the bank for AR12 and he's mining gold as well. So they should be able to clean this up eventually. Full walls up on the side as well. This villager is kind of in danger here on the way back, but I think he makes it alright. Oh, is that the kill? Nope, TC helped out. Yeah, but that's definitely one builder down for AR12 first. Not first, but 2-1 KD for TohobuWaha here in the villager department. Military lead for TohobuWaha as well, so he's doing a good job as the Mongols' aggressor here. Sending the militia to be men-at-arms straight forward here to hit the Aztec side. Not playing maximum into the speed and mobility of the Mongols, but then again, you don't necessarily want to go scouts against Meso civilizations because they're very likely to open infantry style anyway, or even straight archers in some cases. There is less idleness time overall for AR12, so even though he's lost one builder more, he's actually builders ahead here in the progression. They both have wheelbarrow and both have double tax and horse collar here. But from the looks of the eco setup here, it's going to be an earlier cast date for TohobuWaha behind this, potentially with more military to benefit from it as well. He's with... yeah, they're both with one range actually. And they are, of course, mainly with skirmishers expecting the archers. Alright, Rip Skirmisher. As TohobuWaha is forward again with his, 4 archers and 2 skirmishers here to deny 1 woodline. And also sitting at the positive KD here, but again with more idle TC time at home, which makes a difference as well, still giving AR12 potentially the economic advantage here long term. There's quite a bit more idle eco time for AR12, which plays in as well though. Looks like it's going to be Castle Age Eagles for AR12. He's dropping the second barracks. But TohobuWaha is planning to follow it up with some cavalry play here, so he's going to go the knights after all, maybe expecting mainly ranged approaches here from AR12. So both on the way up to the castle age, AR12 is going to beat TohobuWaha with roughly 1 minute here. Even villager counts here and wheelbarrow, but that's because TohobuWaha clicks up a bit later, so AR12 is going to keep that lead. His eagle switch here might work wonders against the RB investment of TohobuWaha here, because it's mainly archers and skirmishers for now, although that one stable will obviously provide some knights to complement the archers forward. It's mainly archers here for TohobuWaha. 3 ranges, not currently producing on the way up here. So with a decent eagle mass behind this, which AR12 by the way has hidden away, he might be able to clean up with Eagle Warrior in, which is not too far up, and the second defense, Gaslight defense, is on the way in as well. Oh, is it this round? AR12 chasing with skirmishers from one side and Eagle Warriors from the other is going to pick off quite a few units here now. And I was thinking it was going to be knights here for TohobuWaha, but that was actually the stable to get the upgrades needed for cavalry archers. So it's never mind, it's not the knights, it's the cavalry archers that need husbandry and bloodlines to really get to their maximum upgrades here. Plus 20 hit points for husbandry, no for bloodlines, and speed boost for or Bloodlines. Now we'll see how Cast Age Eagles fare against Cavalry Archers. That should be interesting. AR12 definitely has the numbers advantage now, and has the mobility to get some good raids in with. That's a weird TC spot. I mean, it's protection, of course, for both the golds here. I guess you can't TC the hill. That's the explanation here. Hit and run for the Cavachers, better than nothing here, but maybe actually Knights with full upgrades would work out even better here against that Eagle switch away or 12. Well, it's certainly annoying to deal with. I guess having the mobility of Cav Archers is nice, but the Pierce Armored Eagles, let's see, it still takes quite a few shots, and the Cav Archers aren't the most efficient ones in the world. And yet, again, there's still a hole next to the mill here for TohobuWaha, who now will focus on these Eagles, but more are entering here. Triple barracks production for AR12 here. Maybe it's actually going to work out with the Atlex picks here on Serengeti. Now the hold gets plugged though, so no easy flow of Eagles for that side. And the 3 TCs of TohobuWaha seems a bit risky against a prolonged 1 TC Eagles play from the Aztecs as well. That's 4 villager kills for AR12, but he's also with 1 TC less. Once this one completes anyway, 2 TCs down for now. As University for ballistics and other appropriate upgrades for the cavalry archers, it's going up for TohobuWaha. Ballistics and chemistry, that's the university upgrades. Dead even builder count now. AR12 with military momentum is sending another trickle of eagles forward, one that TohobuWaha doesn't necessarily see here. So the Cav Archers will probably be forced to run back sooner rather than later here to actually deal with the eagle raids that are about to sneak in on his left-hand side. Spreading out the eagles, they will not get too... Yeah, there's an opening here by the house as well. Yeah, should be lots of villagers going down for TohobuWaha now, which is very hurtful when you're trying to extend your economy like this. The Cav Archers can't be forward anymore either. They need to try and kidnap the Eagle Warriors here. And AR12 should, even being with only 2 TCs, be able to take a solid villager lead here with these kinds of raids. 9 villagers down, already 10 total. Then again, with 3 TCs consistently producing for TohobuWaha, you should be able to catch up against the player who's currently only on 2. But you also won't be able to counterattack easily. First castle on the way up though, that's in a nice defensive spot here. Covering farms, covering stone, covering a couple of woodlands here. And AR12 content with the raid damage here with 50 villagers down for the enemy, will break out through the palisades and run away from the Cav Archers yet again. Monks, skirmishers, and eagle warriors here, so could get some sneaky conversions in here actually, and don't underestimate the Aztec monks either. They probably have some... Alright, they actually don't have any research technologies researched yet, but for each research you do in a monastery for the Aztec monks, they get plus 5 hit points. That'll still be an easy target for ranged fire, but not as easy as generic monks. Now it's AR12's turn to be on the defensive here. It's up against an increasing mass of cavalry archers here. 2 ranges consistently producing here for TohobuWaha, but now Elite Skirm is in for the Aztecs as well. And this hill, of course, isn't doing AR12 any favors either. It's right next to his forward woodland here with the 3rd TC now going up. And TohobuWaha has managed to reclaim the villager lead after the massive raids of AR12 earlier. $51 million to 38 now. That's one thing with the Aztecs as well, that the military buildings produce units faster. Like 10 or 15% faster or something, so they have a much easier time massing units overall. Oh, Elite Skirm's getting some good hits in here on the cavalry archers though. That's quite a few down just like that. No unique tech for AR12 just yet. He doesn't have a castle. But he may be able to establish a presence on this hill. The eagle numbers are growing increasingly scary as well. 30 eagles at least now. Maybe going for raids again here. They risk running into castle fire here, but will still be idling a lot of economy on their journey forward. All things considered, only 5-6 villagers apart here between the 2 players. They're both on 3 TCs now. But there's also a castle for TohobuWaha, means that he must have been mining stone at some point, so that makes a difference in the eco income as well. AR12 3 on stone now to eventually get a castle up on these for defense, or match the defense on these hills. For example, this one to protect that 3rd gold there, as eagles are indeed very gold heavy in the production. And if TohobuWaha can't get any stronger walls up on the sides here, he's going to be looking at continuous Eagle Warrior raids here. It's especially strong in the Imperial Age, of course, if you can get to the elite Eagle Warriors. But still, they have such an easy time sniping villagers, and AR12 just runs straight in here to get more villager pickoffs. Fighting uphill against cav archers, but will still be getting some decent kills here, and now idling to go to Imperial Age here, actually, AR12. So he's going to beat TohobuWaha by good margins to the Imperial Age here, I believe. TohobuWaha is 26 on food, 9 on gold, and getting heavily idled by the Eagle raids here now. He is looking rough for the Mongols now, being significantly behind the Aztecs to the Imperial Age, where elite Eagle Warrior and other significant upgrades will be obtainable for the Aztecs here. It's just forcing the cav archers to more or less constantly be on the defensive here for AR12. Light cav, of course, doing work for TohobuWaha. I mean, light cav, of course, doing work against the skirmishers, but now even more ranges go up. And 5 on stone now for AR12. If he'll ever need it, he'll have access to atlatl skirms as the Aztecs as well, to further benefit the elite skirmishers with extra range. 31 military to 21 right now though, but Imperial Age means potentially elite Eagle Warrior as well, if AR12 wants to extend the Eagles play here. 1 relic collected, so that's some bonus gold for the late game for AR12 as well, but the Eagles investment, of course, taking its toll on the gold income. Soon, no more gold left inside of AR12's base here. And look at the skirmish masses as well. 24 skirmishers, not easy to engage against. Of course, the side gold that gets delayed here, but or denied for a bit there, but AR12 still sitting at a solid head start to the Imperial Age here. Something that he'll for sure make advantage of with maybe a castle in the middle here. Was hoping to take that hill. That's a vantage point to push forward. Hey Akkal, what should Mongols here do here against Skirm plus Eagle? Hussar comes to mind at least, but at this stage in the game I think Mongols honestly struggle. The Mongols Hussars have extra hit points, so that helps at least against the elite Skirms. But Eagles, I'm not so sure. Maybe you need to get to Imperial Age and Cavalier. That's your best bet to catch up with their speed. The Hussars with full upgrades will do decent as well, of course, but I think the longer the game goes, it's tougher to deal with. But of course, if it gets to a point where the map runs out of gold, then Aztecs will struggle because they don't have any good raiding option as opposed to the Mongols Hussars. Look at TohobuWaha losing numbers here though. This is reverse of the Desert Void, the previous game here with AR12. Now in the late game and earlier PLH here with 3 times the amount of military. Even if it's mainly trash units like the elite Skirm here, it's going to make it extremely difficult for TohobuWaha to engage here. The Siege Workshop is up as well to... Well, Aztecs get Siege Ram. I don't know, maybe that applies here against Cavalry should play. So good raids by TohobuWaha to the side again. And look at the builder numbers. Again, they're similar here between the players. Both with 4 TCs. TohobuWaha with 2 castles in roughly the same spot here. And with the option to make Mangudai. And behind this, TohobuWaha has been able to go to the Imperial Age as well. Yeah, Aztecs army, quicker army production is showing here. AR12 actually quite close to be pop capped here now. Yes, still has twice the military of the Mongols, but the numbers are increasing as well. Green needs siege, man. Yeah, you could say that. There's conscription on the way to further boost the production speed of the Aztecs, and a castle to the side as well to take some control here. But you want to push back the castles of the Mongols as well to limit the Mangudai numbers. No sign of elite Eagle Warrior either. That's obviously a very costly upgrade to go into, and you'd want more numbers to benefit from that. Heavy castle age play with Knight could work against Skirvin and Gil. Oh, that's a good point actually, Tiger. Fully upgraded Knights should do alright. But the thing is, this AR12 has been in the Imperial Age though, and he would have had access to Elite Eagle Warrior if the eco permitted, and then I think Castle Age Knights would struggle still against large masses. But right now it's not looking so good for AR12 here. 40 to 27, and the Mongols in the very late game. Now Hussar is in as well for TohobuWaha here. And neither player is really able to easily raid the enemy side. I see Hussars for Mongols here to work wonders against the economy or AR12 at home though, because he would have to rely heavily on quick walls here to plug these gaps. He of course is going into pikeman, but as Aztecs he doesn't have access to halberdiers, and no sign of Garland wars either, which is an Imperial Age technology. For the Aztecs. I think you should try to pressure AR12 so hard that he couldn't go. Yeah, good point. The mobility of knights. I mean, TohobuWaha was playing men-at-arms into archers first, and then followed up with cavalry archers in the Castle Age. So maybe some straight knights, for the upgraded knights, could have worked as well. But right now it seems to be doing okay still. Villager lead, down in military again here, and AR12 now with the elite Eagle Warriors though, which is going to be a pain to handle. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Mongols are fine if you can survive to the point where there's no gold left on the map, right? But you need to get there. Otherwise, you need to stop the Aztecs earlier, I think. This looks like it could be another long game, though. Both players consistently producing villagers and military here to the point of being pop-capped. AR12 with slightly higher pop, more military total. And he has the Eagles to raid wherever they went right now. 20 Eagles somewhere. Yeah, they're over here. Okay. Elite Mangadai is in for TohobuWaha, yes. But I think we also have Atlatl Skirmisher for AR12, so he's got some extra range against the Mangadai. So the benefit of Mangadai is of course the hit and run and boost speed. Often here, Hussars, let's see here. Eagle, Elite Eagles, they should do alright against Hussars, shouldn't they? Yeah, they're doing fine here, mixed with the pikes. And Atlatl Skirmishers to chase the Elite Mangadai as well. Nice. They're one-shotting the Mangadai actually, and they have that extra range. That is quite pretty. Oh, but now the Eagles go down again to the Hussars, and now left with all the skirmishers here. Oh, and now raids to the right-hand side. Panic prepared from AR12 here, but still only Palisade Gate over here. So if you can keep this one up, at least it's gonna limit the raids on that side for now. Pull on Pike for a while here. AR12 has 3 relics, so he has a bit of gold income that way. There are some neutral golds to the sides as well that he knows definitely of that one. And keeping military high here by far for AR12, but he's not really contesting the castles for Mongols Mangadai here either. Why is everything so slow suddenly? Hold on. Oh, it's the in-game lag. Okay, never mind. Funny that the game records even the laggy moments. That's a significant chunk of pikemen. We can see Garland Wars, the unique technology is in as well, giving infantry plus 5 attack? Plus 7 attack? I don't remember, plus 5 attack. Some tiny hussar raids here, but nothing too significant here. And I see similarities to the previous game here of TohobuWaha. He really doesn't allow AR12 to get some good raids in and hit his main base, while he himself is getting some nice counter raids in with just a few hussars and everything here, which AR12 obviously is discovering is going for some stone walls here to hold it off. Just gonna pause and see if it helps the playback here. I think it's actually the in-game lag that is replicated here. Castle definitely getting denied here by the Mangadai on this side, so that's a hill that the AR12 is not getting anytime just yet. And again, it's AR12 with a military lead here. They're roughly similar populations. TohobuWaha, Maor villagers behind this. And this middle farming TC here is probably in danger of being taken down eventually. AR12 with more stone in the back. He has stone for 2 more castles as well, as some of his pikes get focused down here, and TohobuWaha now goes for that neutral gold. He has a monk hunting for a relic potentially as well, but now there's 3 to 2. So like the previous game, they are similar in the relic numbers. Alright, Tiger, have fun with the game. Akkal-AOE skirmishers still doing work here, but looking at the economy behind this, I'm kind of leaning towards an advantage for TohobuWaha here, especially with the food eco now 67 on food, allowing for more or less constant Hussar production here. Lots of stables spewing out these Hussar units in the queue, and now moving forward here to... yeah, there's definitely openings to raid here on this side. Monk in the middle of everything, trying to get some conversion in here. I'm not sure what he's hitting. Hussar conversion? Fighting uphill here now, but the Eagles are doing still doing decent against the Hussar numbers here. Mongols do miss that last hour by the looks of it, so that makes it a little bit easier for the Eagles to engage against Hussars. 60 HP against 118 HP Mongols Hussar, right? So, but then there's the extra attack of Aztecs playing in as well from Garland Wars. I think it's TohobuWaha's turn to push back here now though. AR12 still with consistent military numbers and will be able to spew out skirmishers for a long while yet. But if the map, if the eventually runs out of gold here, that is going to be a an issue for the Aztecs, I think. TohobuWaha expanding to both sides here to the neutral golds. AR12 is back on this one, and this monk is just idling by, not bothering that his enemies have been overtaking the gold situation here. Almost 1 hour game again here between these two, and AR12 with twice the military of the opponent yet again. The elite Mangonai numbers are at 21, so that's still a scary mass. But with the Atlatl skirmishers on the field to counter them when they get up close, that still makes it tough for TohobuWaha to engage. This castle on the hill might go down though. 2 trebs pushing it now. AR12 tries to push with his own trebs as well, but will be fighting. Will be needing to focus on 2 castles here to do so. Hussars probably best counter against skirmishers in the game as well, and we have very much consistent Hussar production here. I think that is 28 stables or 20, yeah, 20 something stables spewing out Hussars constantly here. So raids have reached AR12's base now, which the villager count will be diminished again, but you see AR12 with the town center still producing units here. Castles going up on the hill. I'm not sure if this one reaches that TC, but it's still taking some important presence on this hill. And AR12 doesn't want to risk any villagers being converted to the dark side here. He did lose one, but fight off the monk when it's regenerating, and yeah, I don't know if he's even gonna bother with this one, but it's actually one that's good, bringing in gold for TohobuWaha over there. Hussars in place again. That's the mobility of late game Mongols right here. Hussars are so dirt cheap. 75 on food now for TohobuWaha, and you can just keep spamming those Hussars to run into the enemy base and force AR12 to make even more villagers. 15 elite Mangonai only left though, and TohobuWaha is kind of struggling a little bit for gold as well. He hasn't scouted this gold! Oh, so once he finds that one, he's gonna find the gold quite close to home base, and then there's a neutral one in the corner as well. There's still gold left on Serengeti to take, but not all of it so easily accessible. Goes for AR12 as well. There's a 2-tile gold over here that could be contested. But Aztecs not getting Halberdier means that they are going to struggle all that more against Hussar raids eventually, because Halberdier simply have more yeah, withstand more attack and more bonus damage against Hussars. So we have the conclusion of the set here. I did set the score wrong after the previous one. TohobuWaha did win Desert Void, AR12's first home map, and now wins Serengeti as well, which means it's a 3-1, and congratulations to TohobuWaha for reaching the final. Aztecs not quite making it on Serengeti. I'm surprised again that AR12 allowed Mongols to pick, but I guess he wanted to secure Britons for Desert Void in the draft or something. Let's have a look at the stats. KD 598 to 478 in the end, for 600 losses for AR12. Friendly fire or something. Obviously, have two brothers system skills. Army high 87 to 70, but it's late game Mongols is just so tough. Economy situation, more resources overall for TohobuWaha. It was less subject to raid than you'd think with the Eagles' investment of AR12, but the cavalry archers did work out nicely defensively as well to get Mongols to the late game. And then the uptimes is significantly earlier Imperial Age here for AR12, but still not in a position to contest the castles that made the Mangudai. And Mongols, when they get to the late game and their Hussar spam, that's just so tough for a civilization without helps and such to stop anyway. Society score should show total builders created pretty high for both, and current builders 135 to 77, so that's the deciding factor in the end there, I think. AR12 being more subject to raids than his opponent.